Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I did a lot of chopping here on the home of the slightly above average ship review and chopped out most of my losses in the Tier 7 ranked. I had 2 or 3 before this using other ships. I used the Low Yang. That didn't work out. I want to say I may have been using the Fletcher. Essentially, I was running into radar boats and they were smoking my bags, so I just decided to get in the Paolo Emilio, the Tier 7 Italian premium ship, after seeing the guy post on Reddit that he had pretty good success with it. The thing you need to know is that the Paolo Emilio's got great torpedoes. They do a ton of damage, and for a destroyer, the most it's going to take is 2 torpedoes. For a battleship, it may take 4. But that's why I chose the Paolo Emilio, and we are rolling out here on whatever map this is. And I did rank out successfully. Did have a little hiccup. Had to clip some more stuff out between Tier 3 and 2. I ran into several radar cruisers. That didn't really work out for me, as well as another destroyer. Here we're against a Friesland. Now, a Friesland does have an advantage of having sonar. That's the one bad point about using the Paolo Emilio, is that you don't have any kind of sonar. So in theory, if you're going up against a very skilled player in a sonar destroyer, in theory, they're just going to park in their smoke and shoot at you with the sonar on. You really won't be able to do anything. This Friesland commander gets hit by a torpedo there, as you can see, and not smoking up, not using radar, so it is only a second or two, sonar, only a second or two before we finish him off for our rank 8 victory. Now, this ranked is a little different. In the previous ones, it was rank 9, 8, 7 were 1 win, 6, 5, 4 were 2 wins, 3 and 2 were 3 wins. In the Tier 7 ranked, and if they do a legendary rank, and I'm not a CC, so I don't know, or I didn't read enough about Wargaming's pronouncements. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but if they do, I would presume it would be like this, where the only level you need 3 wins is at Tier 2. Okay, so here we are in the Paolo Emilio. We got another destroyer going up against us. Another thing to consider if you're in the Paolo Emilio, and yes, I do have that fully ranked up gunboat commander, Rizzo. I have him at 16 and 2. Is that the Paolo Emilio is not particularly an agile ship. You have speed, but you do not have agility. And I don't think there's a way to build it for agility unless you use a cruiser commander, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Just my opinion. All right, so here with the Friesland, we know we want to get up close and personal. We want to negate his advantages of smoke and sonar. Here's the other thing. The Friesland doesn't have torpedoes. It strikes me as particularly odd why someone would want to play the Friesland if you can end up fighting cruisers and battleships, some of which have the possibility of sonar and radar. Doesn't seem to me to be a very good choice. Maybe they don't have any Tier 7 tech tree ships to choose from. I don't know. It's hard to say. Although I did lose the only match I played in the Low Yang. If you said, pick which ship is better for this, the Low Yang or the Friesland, I definitely would have picked the Low Yang. All right, this may be a loss. I don't really remember. We do splash him pretty good there, but he is far enough away from us where it isn't going to matter, I don't think. So we do hit our smoke speed boost combo. We're also damage conning. As you can see, we don't have a lot of hit points left, so I'm trying to bow tank these HE shots as they are raining in from this guy. And we just blindly launched, because we really don't have anything else we can do. And yeah, that is going to be a loss. I forgot that one was in there. So, see, it's not all blowjobs and lollipops here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. I'm more than happy to tell you I ended up with about a 64% winning percentage in the Palo Emilio, but since my normal winning percentage is like 53%, 11% better, I'll take it. Not as good as our 15-0 run in the Warspite, that's for sure. The good thing, I guess, was that 7 must have been an irrevocable rank, so we'll just keep on going back on the same map. And, you know, matches like that taught me a lesson. I need to get in a little closer, need to close the distance. So if you're in a Palo Emilio, don't try fighting at range with another destroyer. You want to get up close and personal and put your torpedoes to use. Now, please keep in mind, here's a Low Yang, so this will be interesting. Please keep in mind your torpedo range is 6 kilometers, depending on what you are using for inspirations and whatnot. So with this, I want to get in close enough to be able to use my torpedoes, but not so close that I won't be able to dodge or try to dodge their torpedoes if and when they launch them. They do have a lot of hit points, in my opinion. Keep in mind that in real life, the Palo Emilio was really a cruiser, at least based on what I've read in Wikipedia. I don't remember the name of the cruiser class. May have been Scipio Africanus, which is, I think, the name of a Roman, like a head of state for ancient Rome. I can't think of what they call them at the current time. But here we are moving in on the Low Yang, and he is doing some good maneuvering until he went dead in the water there. Of course, we were doing some good maneuvering until we hit the island. So he smokes up, and you can see we're still able to shoot at him. Don't know why he is not shooting at us. There he goes. So he's not totally bad. I mean, he sets us on fire. I want to say I think I'm going to hit my smoke here, and my intent is to go around the side of this island in front of us to the outside and try to engage him again. Now, the way the Palo Emilio works is I believe you have one launcher on each side and one launcher in the middle that can go to either side. So since we sent 2 launches already to the other side, we've got to hit them with these torpedoes. Got to get them out in time before they get active. You can see we do eat a torpedo, but all we need is one to kill the Low Yang. That's the weakness of the Low Yang, is that in a battle against a DD like the Palo Emilio with a lot more hit points, even though the Low Yang has some really great stuff in its favor, it can't stand up to that. If you are going to use a Low Yang, smoke and sonar your enemy, but do it close enough so they can't immediately leave that area. Then you're going to get a hit point advantage. You got US guns, quick reload, pour that fire on, and then don't forget to send those torpedoes at it. All right, so here we've got a Baltimore. Now on this map, my strategy is to go towards where A and B overlap. The reason for that is twofold. First and foremost, it gives me the best ambush opportunity on a non-destroyer. Okay. Second of all, if they go the other way, if they go around the far side of Bravo, gives me the opportunity in the overlap zone to cap both Alpha and Bravo at the same time. Now, I don't think it happened in this. I did this on Friday, so I don't remember if there were any that were won by points. Pretty sure there were not. Also, pretty sure there weren't any that were won by ramming. However, I know there were a couple of matches where there was a simultaneous kill, but because I had more points, it worked out in my favor, at least if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe I'm high and maybe that's something else. I guess we'll find out. All right, so I head over here to the overlap zone. As you can see, we capture Bravo. So I've got Bravo in the bag. I've got a points lead now. So if we simultaneously kill each other, I'm going to win because I have more points. You can see right up there on the scoreboard. So I do get radar or sonar there. There's the Baltimore. Nice splash there. Again, you want to try to bow a lot of this stuff. So we're going to launch one set and then I'm going to head towards him. You really don't want to show a lot of broadside, in my opinion. He's not having any problem setting me on fire or disabling my ship here. However, you can't just wait for the torpedoes to do everything. You've got to stay in the fight, keep engaging your guns. I mean, clearly he is damaging the heck out of us. Good thing we got a damage com there. But you can't give up. And here we are going to switch sides, try to get those last torpedoes in action. Now here the Baltimore kind of messed himself up by turning at an angle that I don't think all of his guns can engage us at. We do clip him with one torpedo. He does set us on fire, but now he's at a very disadvantageous angle. And we're going to come in here and make it look easy, folks. That's how you do it against a cruiser. All right, how refreshing. Rank 6 over and done with. On to rank 5. By the way, want to thank my 119 loyal subscribers. New subscriber joined yesterday, and hopefully I'm sorry, new subscriber. I saw your name, but I deleted it by accident. So you know you're you. I know you're you. Thank you for subscribing. And folks, if you enjoy these playthroughs, hit that like button. I know I've said many times in the beginning that I don't really care about the commercial viability of this channel, that I'm not trying to make this channel successful. And I still am kind of not, but it's much more successful than the channel that I am trying to be successful at. So if you like, if you subscribe, that's great. If you don't, that's okay. I understand. I am also a YouTube user, and I know that many videos I watch, I don't hit the like button. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them enough to hit the like button. All right, here we are against the Massachusetts. So can you think the Palo Emilio can take out the Massachusetts? Well, actually, I think the Massachusetts is going to be really easy to take out, because even though he has a lot of secondary guns, and that might work well when you're facing another battleship, it's not going to work well when you're facing a fast, powerful destroyer with a lot of hit points like the Palo Emilio. And again, strategy I talked about, we're going to head over here to the overlap zone. Although I want to say this time I'm anticipating he's just going to come right at us. So I don't know if I slow down here. Let's see. Do I slow down? Nope. We're just going to keep that train rolling. All right. So you want to head at the enemy as quickly as you can. We hit our smoke. We hit our speed boost. I'm not trying to stealth torp the Massachusetts. I'm just going to get into my guaranteed detectability range and engage him with torpedoes. And if you're a battleship commander and you're facing a destroyer, you need to have high explosive loaded at the end. All right, good thing we did not waste a damage con earlier. He smashed us there. Here's one of these instances where we damaged him more than he damaged us, so we get that victory. I am not going to complain about that in the least. You can say it's cheap. I was just checking the scoreboard there. You can see we have a lot more damage. I think maybe it was that we killed him and then he was still moving forward and contacted us and killed us before he was registered as dead. I don't know how to explain that. Don't work for wargaming. Not an expert on ship collision mechanics in terms of the scoreboard. All I care about is advancing, and we are. All right, here you can see we're on Tears of the Desert, Brandenburg. Now, I faced a fair amount of German battleships, and originally I was going to use the Odin to do this, but then I saw that Reddit post about the Palo Emilio and thought about it and said it's got really powerful torpedoes, it's fast, it's got a lot of hit points, and it has 8 guns, so if I do get into a gunfight with a destroyer, maybe I can do a little work that way. So that's why I chose the Palo Emilio. If I didn't have the Palo Emilio and I have my choice of the German battleships, I would choose the Odin, because you're going to be fighting at close quarters. So the Odin's reduced secondary range, if you're using, based on whatever commander you're using, isn't going to really matter as much. And you have bigger guns, bigger caliber guns. That's why I would use the Odin. If I didn't have the Odin, I guess you could say the Brandenburg. I would take the Tirpitz over the Brandenburg. just one guy's opinion. I don't think it is going to make a big difference between those two. But I would choose the Tirpitz. It's been around longer. In theory, you probably had it longer. In theory, you probably feel more comfortable with what you are doing with the Tirpitz. So this Brandenburg doing something very unusual here. I don't know what he is trying to do, but as soon as we get spotted, we're going to send one salvo his way. He, I think, is going to try to go full broadside to us, and that is a questionable strategy, Cotton. We're going to hit that smoke and the speed boost and kind of turn to get the other launcher in play. As you can see, we're turning. All we got to do is clip him with 1 or 2 torpedoes in the beginning, and we're going to have ourselves a good day. We clipped him with 2 torpedoes. We've really only got him with 1. There, yep, he does put some shells in on us. He does set us on fire. He does launch torpedoes, so I brake and I torpedo at him, and look at this, even though he kills us, we hit him with 2 more torpedoes first, and that means we go to the victory screen. Again, very nail-biting, touch and go, whatever phrase you want to use, but I will take that win, and I will move on to rank 4. I want to say, if you're wondering, if you're thinking about clicking away, this total video is about 45 minutes long. All except for a couple of the losses have been chopped out. So mostly victories, mostly the good stuff. I just show you the losses to show you I'm human. I'm not pretending that I waltzed through this and did not break a sweat. That absolutely did not happen. All right, here on Big Race, we've got another Brandenburg. So at this point, I am very cognizant of German battleship torpedoes. And my advice to anybody, if you can pick and choose your engagements in terms of the positioning of the enemy ship, remember that most German battleships have the torpedo launchers towards the rear of the ship. And so if you were going to engage at close quarters, I would try to engage the front half of the ship with your torpedoes, and in doing so, maybe give yourself a little more time and space to get away from their torpedoes, or at the very least, avoid their launch. Here, based on the direction of the Brandenburg, I decided that going on a psycho torp run here was probably not a good idea. So yes, we are going to use what my close, longtime personal friend George H.W. Bush calls strategery here. We are going to hide behind this island. We're going to back up. We're going to reverse our turn if that's what we're doing. Sorry, I watched The Hunt for Red October the other night, and reverse your turn is kind of stuck in my brain. So we're reversing our turn, hopefully, and just waiting for him to come out here. Again, I do think I have the advantage based on the power of my torpedoes, but I'm not willing to just throw them out there. And yeah, we don't have a lead. That's okay. I think for a minute, maybe I should go into Bravo and capture that and kind of force the Brandenburg back. But I decide not to do that. And instead, I'm going to turn. I think I'm going to turn and go into the overlap zone. Maybe I'll leave briefly and then come back in. Yeah, so I leave the circle briefly. And then right now we're cranking it, trying to get back into the overlap zone. Yep, to prevent him from capping Alpha. So this, again, in my opinion, a very good strategy. You definitely want to capture a cap circle if you can, without putting yourself at risk. And we're not. The island's in between ourselves and the Brandenburg. We got to hit him with 4 torpedoes to kill him. At least that's my belief based on the last match. We do capture Bravo. And I think I want to say, I just say at this point, screw it. And I'm going to cut in between these 2 islands here, kind of where that Alpha thing is, and engage him. We do launch some torpedoes, a scare tactic. Be very careful. You'll see not 1, but 2 of these torpedoes get caught on the island. So give your torpedoes a little more room around these islands. This is one of the maps, I think, where they have a lot of underwater stuff. that will catch a ship or a torpedo if you are too close to it. So keep that in mind. So we're splitting these two islands here. We're going to come around. We still have 2 sets of torpedoes left on board. Very important to save the torpedoes you are going to need to kill the enemy ship. So we're spotted due to our proximity. We're going to get... Oh, he has torpedoes in the water. We're gonna dodge them. And here I want to say it's time to hit our speed boost, time to hit our rolling smoke. Try to set the Brandenburg on fire. It won't matter. He eats 4 torpedoes. The end. Alright, first win at rank 4. By the way, I may start bringing you a playthrough of Ace Combat 7 on this channel. Ironically enough, on my other channel, when I did a playthrough of Ace Combat, mostly blind, I used this profile to do the playthrough because I didn't have the other profile then. So I'll be using the other profile in the playthrough. Don't be thrown off by that. If I do it, I would love to hear your feedback. Alright, facing the Odin. Now this would have been my pick if I didn't have the Paolo Emilio. So you can see here how the Paolo Emilio can dominate the Odin in a match like this. I think. I hope. I don't remember which games were wins and losses at this point. I just knew where they were and eliminated the ones in the very beginning and the ones at tier 3. Alright, so we're moving out here. There's the Odin. Trying to determine his rate of travel. Originally, I was planning on going into Bravo, and I may still do that for 2 reasons. Number 1, to cap Bravo, a much smaller cap, and 2, because these islands are in the way. Anytime you can get a battleship moving around an island at a destroyer, it's a huge advantage for the destroyer. I can't tell you how many times on both sides I played Ring Around the Rosie, and 9 times out of 10 the battleship you lose because you can't maneuver the way a destroyer does. So that's what we're planning here. I want to say I am going to launch 1 set into the gap just for scare tactics. And we're going to dial it back here, kind of high behind this island, and see if those torpedoes can do anything. Absent that, we're going to back up here, try to capture the Alpha Cap, and we'll let him have Bravo. There he hits the sonar. That was to be expected, and that consumable is the reason I would choose the Odin as well. So he knows we're here. He knows where we are. So at this point, I think I don't really have a lot to lose. Now, we both have a cap circle as well, so there's no advantage there. Was he shooting armor piercing? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. Alright, we're going to light him up and hope he runs into those torpedoes. Looks like he's maneuvering a little bit. We do catch him with 2. We do dodge his torpedoes. And now that we can turn and get our starboard side torpedo launcher in action. I don't know if that is the same sonar or another sonar. If it is another sonar, how on earth did it reload in like 1 second? Good grief. Alright, we ran into the island here. We're just not very good. And we're going to launch on the indicator. At this point, we're just trying to catch him with 2 torpedoes. Hopefully that happens, but it does not. So right now, boys and girls, we are really up against it. But as you can see, I am not far away from a reload of my torpedoes.
The ship is on fire.
So we do get our starboard side launcher back by bow tanking. We weathered that salvo, and we do get torpedoes off. He does try to ram me and fails. All right, so you can see taking out an Odin, entirely possible in the Palo Emilio. On to rank 3. And we're about to start this match. I was really disappointed to hear that Wargaming isn't going to release an accuracy battleship commander for Italy for quite some time, if they do at all. Not that it needs it. There's one of the cuts, I think, so don't be alarmed by that. I just think it's a good option. I would like to try it out in the Julio Cesare to see how it works. Can't wait to unlock the Veneto on Monday. I will probably also buy the Hill Tier 4 destroyer US premium that's being released. I do not think the Hill is going to be the best destroyer at Tier 4, but I will have a video upcoming for you guys what I think is the best premium destroyer at Tier 4. I will give you a hint. It has been out in the game for quite some time. All right. We got another battleship, I think, here. Is it a battleship? Oh, it's a Charles Martel. All right, we got a cruiser. So how are we going to do against a French cruiser? They're very fast, generally very well thought of. I do own the Charles Martel. I think I played a couple of matches in it. I hate to use the word Christmas crates in a sentence, but I think I got out of a Christmas crate. I did not pick it out and buy it, that's for sure. All right. So he's got sonar going on. That's okay. We're just trying to get in torpedo range. Here, as you can see, bow tanking, salvo. Really didn't hurt us that bad. We will launch on the indicator, although keep in mind, French cruisers are pretty quick. Speaking of quick, we are quick enough to dodge his torpedoes. And then right here, we pretty much know we have him because we dodged his torpedoes. Sayonara means goodbye, Charles Martel. All right, next match. And if you've ranked out, please let me know in the comments and let me know what ship you ranked out with. I would just be interested to see what you guys are playing. Here on Polar, we've got a Tashkent. Quite honestly, as much as I really like the Tashkent, stealthy torpedoes, good guns, I just think we have an advantage. We have more hit points, at least I'm presuming we do, or if we don't have more hit points, we have better concealment. And our torpedoes go the same distance. His torpedoes are stealthier. Our torpedoes do more damage, at least if I'm remembering the characteristics of the Tashkent correctly. Is the Tashkent a good destroyer? Absolutely it is. Is the Palo Emilio a better destroyer for this game mode? Yes, it is. And at the end of the day, when you're picking a ship, you only have to beat one other ship. Now, you've got to be able to beat all three kinds of ships, which I've conclusively shown you can do in the Palo Emilio, because all you got to do is land the right amount of torpedoes. And we have the ability to bow tank. I thought this Tashkent player should have played much more aggressively because you've got a powerful ship there. And here I launch on the indicator and we're just going to eat a torpedo and not even worry about it because we can. As you can see, that took about less than half our hit points. Now he beaches himself and that's the end. You know, you just can't do that in this match without a smoke screen. And I think he may have been using heels, and that didn't work out for him. All right, I want to say I believe this match is going to be a loss coming up. So you'll see, again, another player that's better than me or made better decisions than me. I don't remember the match off the top of my head, so I guess we'll see what it is. But I have a feeling it might be a Friesland who just picks me apart with smoke sonar combo. That's my feeling. Oh, it's a lightning. Okay, so it was a lightning who picked me apart with a smoke sonar combo. I was very worried about this as well because the lightning has the ability to single launch torpedoes, so it's not necessarily dodging because they can drop them all in a big group together, really tightly packed together. So if you don't have the maneuverability to get out the way, so I was reminding myself, if I know he launched torpedoes, I've got to hit my speed boost to be able to try to use my speed to get past them rather than maneuverability. Very worried about this, came very close personally to picking the Lightning. I think it is a very strong ship. The only thing it doesn't have is a speed boost of any sort. And at the end of the day, yeah, I do like the Low Yang a little bit better because of the range of the sonar, but again, maybe that's for more... I don't know. I think it'd be really tough. I think if you could dictate the distance in the Low Yang, you could beat the Lightning. I think if it's at a distance where both your sonars are able to detect the enemy, then the Lightning has more guns. More guns mean more DPM. And so I'd give the edge to the Lightning.
Engine boost activated.
All right, here the Lightning is going to move in on us. We're going to launch one set of torpedoes. I think kind of boxed himself in by going close to the island there. And I didn't necessarily think that was wise. And we'll launch ahead with the torpedoes. And, oh, this one killed me. Because I missed right there, and I was trying to turn to get my other guns back on target. And he killed me. I shouldn't have done that. As soon as I missed, I should have turned the other way, and I forgot. And so that was just really heartbreaking, because if I had hit him with one salvo of 2 guns, he would have been dead. So that one really hurt me. There were more in there. I did not have a good time in between Tier 2 and Tier 3. Rough matches against good cruiser players did not work out for me. But I want to say I think this is the next games are all wins. I think I chopped the rest of the losses out. All right, we've got another Brandenburg here. At this point, I feel pretty confident how to deal with the Brandenburg. And I know it's going to take 4 torpedoes to kill him. So we're just headed out here again, trying to go for the islands. The islands are a detriment unless you're in a battleship with radar or sonar. You know, I didn't see any Missouris. I don't know if anyone played the Missouri in Ranked 7. Obviously, I've only seen a handful of them in games. I am 20,000 steel away from the Missouri. Maybe if I hadn't bought the Murmansk, I would be 15,000 away. I think I was bought a Insignia once with steels. So... And I've only bought out one campaign from the jump. I am thinking about buying out the next campaign from the jump to just help myself catch back up on steel. I think ideally I'd be at about 20,000 steel right now. All right, not worth launching there due to positioning. So we're just going to try to get closer to get out of range where he can dodge. And again, I'm willing to eat a torpedo of his to get my torpedoes off, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. Here, we're going to launch a little bit ahead of the... No, I guess we're not. We're going to launch on the indicator.
Smoke generator started.
And he does damage us, but we do damage Khan. And I'm waiting for him to make a more meaningful turn. Now, remember what I was talking about with going around the island with a destroyer? Even though 2 torpedoes get eaten by that island, anytime you go play Ring Around the Rosie with an island with a destroyer, even if you're a battleship that has torpedoes, it generally isn't going to work out for you. Because the destroyer is quicker, has the ability to do different things. And when you've got a launcher on both sides of your destroyer, you can launch that other set of torpedoes. And I think maybe here the Brandenburg commander didn't realize I had another launcher. but that's going to be the end of the round. All right, on to Tier 2. As you can see, we need 3 wins to finish out at Tier 2. I want to say I think one of these was pretty challenging and one of them was not. I came across a very unlikely opponent for the last match, so we'll just have to enjoy that when it happens. And they put us back in the big race. This is a map I don't really like in the Palo Emilio by this point, due to the constraints of the map with the islands being very close, very hemmed in. I much prefer the other maps to this one. All right, you can see we are facing a destroyer. What are we facing? Z-23. All right, so sonar, yes. I don't think the Z-23 is very powerful. I have no idea what I was doing there, so just ignore that. But this is a matchup I feel I can win. Again, I want to get close enough to negate his sonar advantage. So we're going to turn and go straight at him. And he's essentially coming straight at us. So we're going to light him up. And we do set him on fire. And we've got a gun advantage, so let's use it. Hit him again. And we're going to launch one set of torpedoes right there. And a second set right there. And as soon as he turned more broadside to me, I thought we were going to kill him. And we did. Pretty happy about that. Much easier than I thought it would be. No slight to the player involved. All right, second match here. And we are going to be facing Brandenburg again. By this time, y'all know my strategy with the Brandenburgs. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to watch it happen. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope you have ranked out. If you have not ranked out and you want to know good ships to rank out in, well, they're mostly going to be premiums. I mean, clearly the Lightning would be a good ship to rank out in if you have that tech tree ship unlocked. Palo Emilio, Lo Yang. I don't recommend the Friesland. I can't believe I faced Frieslands in here. Sure, you can gunboat other destroyers, but against a cruiser or a battleship, I just don't see that working out in your favor. Cruisers, there are tons of great cruisers out there. Anything with sonar or radar is a good choice. Although, actually, I'm going to lean to sonar because your close quarters, if you're fighting from farther away, I don't know. I really like the new Russian cruisers with that armor piercing. Obviously, the Mines is out there. I think those are all good choices. And battleships, well, to me, the huge advantage is all these German battleships with torpedoes. Torpedoes kind of end the match ASAP, like this match. Torpedoes kill stuff quick. So of them, I would say Odin, Tirpitz, Brandenburg. Maybe the last two kind of interchangeable. I put Odin on top. But that's what I would use. That's my opinion. I definitely would avoid Russian battleships. I definitely would avoid Royal Navy battleships. Just my opinion. All right, here is the very last match. We are going to win. We are facing a Kajiro. Of all the ships to take into ranked, I never thought I would face a Kajiro. And I immediately believe, as long as I don't get stealth torped, I'm going to kill the Kajiro. And again, no slight intended to the Kajiro commander. I don't know where he is in the rank chart or what rank he's at or anything. But to me, you've got to get close enough to use your torpedoes if you're in the cadre. Yes, you have stealth. That's great and everything. Yeah, you have a spotting advantage. And if you can work it out so you can stealth torp, that's great. This player did not do that. And this may be an instance where the islands helped me rather than hurt me. Although I have no idea what build he was using. I definitely would do a max concealment if I was using a Japanese DD. And, torp from stealth, that's what you do in a Japanese DD. So when I saw him at 5.2, that was very shocking to me, because that meant either his concealment isn't that great or he's not using the concealment commander, both of which I think are bad ideas or bad circumstances to play in. So again, I am confident I can win this in a gunfight. The torpedoes are just their scare tactics at this point. Although if I do get lucky and I do clip him with a torpedo, he's dead. I was just going to take his one. So that's why I would never use a Japanese destroyer in a high-level ranked, because you have every disadvantage. You don't have sonar. You don't have radar. All you have in your favor is stealth torping. And if you're not using stealth torping, or you don't have the concealment to stealth torp, then any advantage you have is negated. Now, maybe it'd be a little bit different in the Akizuki, because you have a torpedo reload booster and you've got lots of fast-firing guns. However, it wasn't a really consideration for me because I didn't think those torpedoes would do enough damage against a battleship, and I didn't want to find out if they would or not. So here, he's playing at range again, and as long as I see him, which I know I'm going to see him, in plenty of time to dodge his torpedoes, I'm going to hit him. All right, so here we're using the island to kind of cover ourselves a little bit, not from his guns, but more from his torpedoes. I think we're going to see his torpedoes coming, the long range off. Japanese torpedoes don't have great stealth.
The ship is on fire.
So I think we're going to have time to maneuver out of the way. And you see right here, he's got like a quarter of his health left. He's on fire. In the immortal words of Jim Morrison and the Doors, this is the end. And it's only just a matter of time. He's going to make us wait for it. But we are going to get this kill simply by letting his smokescreen dissipate and using the guns. All right, so while we're waiting for that to happen, let's talk about upcoming content. I'm going to finish my trip up the U.S. destroyer tree during this next update. As you may or may not remember, we ended it with a Farragut because the early access ships came out and you guys made it clear you wanted to see those. I'm going to buy the Hill and I'll have a review on that. So we'll be going Mahan, Benson, Fletcher. I'm not sure when I'm going to put out the Hill video. The Hill may be week 4. And then we'll also have the campaign ship at the end of the update in the last week. Yes, I know I also have Brandenburg as a campaign ship, Mines as a campaign ship to put out videos on. Brandenburg probably sooner rather than later, Mines probably later rather than sooner. Here's some torpedoes we saw coming a long way off. That little outcropping of the island did its job to protect us, so we're just going to move forward and then back up here. Plus, I got a lot more Kraken fails for you guys, including one in the Benson. So we will have plenty of our regular content. Going to try to mix in a little bit of Ace Combat here and there, if that is okay. And if another game comes out that I can make short videos on, I will put that up for you. I have considered doing a Cyberpunk game on this channel. But since those videos will be limited to 20 or 30 minutes in duration, it would be like over 100 videos for me to finish the game. So I'm not sure anybody's going to watch 100 Cyberpunk videos. But if I do it, it will be a guns/tech based playthrough. The playthrough on my other channel, if you haven't seen it yet, is a Mantis Blades playthrough. Again, that channel should be, if you go to the About section of my channel, it should have a link to my primary channel. And my channel name is November 9, Nein. And it's there if you want to see it. I also have a playthrough of Call of Cthulhu on that channel, as well as the Ace Combat and Cyberpunk. Here's the end, the denouement, the coup de grace, the ending. And we're going to get this rank 1 coming up here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, again, hit that like button. I will see you next time on the home of the slightly above average ship review.